What's up guys, it's Arion Trades here. Today I'm going to be showing you my strategy, what I look for, how it works, and everything that'll help you trade better. Guys, this strategy is really super profitable. It's simple, but it's not easy. You do have to put in the work, but I'll do a great job at explaining it. The way I mainly trade is with supply and demand. And what we're looking for on the chart is big moves. So we're looking for on the screen are big candlesticks, right? And within these candlesticks, there's going to be imbalances, whether they're at the bottom or they're in the middle. People think that supply and demand can only be at the top and bottom, but they're wrong. There's also imbalances within the middle of the zone. On the way up, the imbalances are demand zones where we're taking bounces, which are calls or longs. For a move down, it would be supply. And like I said, it can also exist within the middle of the range. These are called drop-based rallies, and these are called rally-based rallies. And same thing with this, drop-based rally, and then rally-based rally. And you might be wondering what basing means, and I'll explain that right here. Basing is where we get our zones, and look, this is an example of basing. Basing, that's really where supply and demand zones exist. Basing, basically chopping, you know? And like I said, you want to do these on big moves because these are where banks leave out orders, and we're basically trading with the banks. So we're getting filled exactly where they're getting filled. That gives us a higher reward for our trades for a minimal amount of risk. Okay, yeah, so let's hop into the charts and see examples of this. As you can see, I'm on replay mode here. The first step is to look for an A+ zone, which is a nice move away. And as you can see, these candlesticks are big candlesticks, so we know that they're made by banks and not by people like us. You can visually spot these zones. They're usually like these candles with big wicks in between these big candles. The way I like to identify them is with this 50% body candle indicator, and what it does is it literally highlights the zones for us. Boom, here's a 2-hour demand zone. As you can see, I like to make my zones blue, label it 2-hour demand. Yeah, one thing I like to do is I look at what part of the range we're in, and as you can see, we're in discount, so I'd like to long and discount. If we were up here, I wouldn't want to long, but if I know it's going up, I'd go in with smaller size. But yeah, this is an ideal setup, and we want to have a certain amount of risk to reward on our trade. I like to keep the stop with a little space at the bottom because there's always orders at the distal of demand, so you never want to get stopped on a trade like that. I trade these on options, so I stick to around a 50% stop loss. As you can see, this is a 4-to-1 risk to reward. We'd enter some longs here. Let's wait for it to tap our zone and we should be good. As you can see, we tap. See if I can enter here. Okay, I'll keep a stop loss right here and take profit at right here. Just to let you guys know, I take these on options, so I scale out 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%. I take a fourth of my contracts out because you never know what supply and demand zone will give you the biggest move or the smallest move. With screen time, you can get an understanding of it, but sometimes a lower time frame zone can give you a crazy move. Sometimes a higher time frame zone can give you a small move. But yeah, boom, as you can see, TP was smashed and it literally exploded off the screen. Hey, yo. Here, let me show you another example. Here's ES. As you can see, what our first step is that we need to look for a big A+ move away, which is right here, as you can see. After this, we want to make sure that we're in discount in the range. So I'll grab my fib tool, draw it from the low to high. As you can see, if we're here, we'll be in discount. So it is a good long. You want to turn on the 50% body candle indicator to highlight the imbalance. And boom, we can see a nice 2-hour demand zone right here. I would be interested, if we tap in the zone, interested in long. Once we tap the zone, I can enter some longs. Boom, we just tapped it. I would enter a position right here. Stop loss right beneath the zone. Let's mark out the take profit at this high. I usually like to look at data highs, data lows, equal highs, equal lows. A good form of liquidity, but obviously we're on replay mode. Yeah, that's also part of the strategy. Alright, bro, my bad. Cut that part out. As you can see, we tapped in the zone. I'll place a buy right here, stop loss a little bit beneath the zone, have our take profit marked right here, which is just it's just a 4 risk to reward, you know. But yeah, let's see it play out. And boom, as you can see, we hit take profit. But yeah, that's what my strategy looks like. There's obviously more details into it and other things. If you have any questions, let me know. And if there's anything you want me to make a video about, I got you. Make sure you subscribe, follow me on Instagram, just show love. See you guys later.